I decided I wanted to put together an Intel i5 12600K system because you guys have been asking, and I wanted to use some DDR4 memory with one of the only desktop DDR4 boards that we have. So here it is. We don't have a name for this build yet, but if you want to see how it came together, stick around. As usual with these builds on the channel, we build these PCs to inspire you guys to build beautiful PCs of your own. One thing that we did differently today is I decided that I wanted to benchmark this system right here with the benchmarks we used in our 12900K review, just as a little bit of a comparison. However, we did use a different GPU, but if you're not familiar with the testing that we did, check out that video. I'll put a link to that in the description down below. All of that jazz, you know how we do. Let's put it together. Alright ladies and gents, I hope you enjoyed seeing this 12600K system come together. This blue system, I don't know what we're calling it. This video is not sponsored by Intel. We just haven't used straight up blue lighting in forever, and I was like, you know what, today is the day, and since it's an Intel system, you know, why the heck not? Anyways, let's take a little bit of a look at the benchmarks of this system, but just be aware, I didn't test thermals or anything like that. I just used the 5 game-based benchmarks that we used in our 12900K review. So let's take a look at what happened. All right, let's kick it off with Shadow of the Tomb Raider. If we compare this to our 10900K test bench, I didn't put these numbers here. This is just reading off our spreadsheet of all our testing. At 1080p, it's about 30 frames faster at 1080p, and it begins to then average out over the higher resolutions. We kind of see the same thing happening with 1440p and Unigine superposition as well, which is highly CPU bound, and Unigine superposition is about 10 frames faster with this system over our regular GPU test bench. Just as a little bit of context, let's move on to Basemark GPU. Now this benchmark is great for exposing weaknesses with certain configurations, and just to put this into perspective, this benchmark has really high numbers in general, and for 1440p, say for instance, the number here is about 100 frames faster from this over our test bench. With Dirt 5, we haven't actually tested this GPU on our test bench with Dirt 5. What we're going to be doing in the new year is retesting every GPU on a new test bench with Dirt 5 and the next benchmark that we showed in our 12900K review, which is Horizon Zero Dawn. So there's no real context for this at the moment, but if you've played the game or got a system that runs the game, then you know how this performs. Now, with that said, before you ask, oh, why didn't you benchmark this system with some other game that I don't play or I don't have or I don't use? There's only so many hours in a day, guys, so yeah. As you can see, the performance of this system is actually quite good. Now, stick around, make sure you're subscribed and all that stuff. We do have a 5600X versus 12600K review coming out. Now, there's plenty of videos about all of this stuff all over YouTube already, but we're doing it a little bit differently. So make sure you're subscribed with those notifications turned on, or however that notification system works now. Apparently it's broken again, Claire. Apparently notifications on YouTube are completely pointless again. And YouTube's been unsubscribing people from channels again for like lots of people. So make sure you're actually subscribed if this comes up in your recommended or whatever. But because we've got like lots of really interesting stuff coming up with DDR5 versus DDR4, some more builds, you know how we do. Anyways, speaking of knowing how we do, let's talk about the parts. The CPU is the Intel Core i5 12600K. We put the 12600K on the MSI MAG Z690 Tomahawk Wi-Fi DDR4. That is an absolute mouthful. Why do they call it that? I just read that off the top of my brain and it was just so much, Claire. It's too much. Too much. Change it. To cool the 12600K, we use the Phanteks Glacier 1 MPH240. Now, while we're talking about cooling, I just wanted to mention a few things because we've been getting a lot of questions about cooler compatibility. Now, the measurements for the hole spacing is a millimeter either way of LGA 1366. So a lot of coolers that are already out will work and sufficiently cool CPUs, well, at least these LGA 1700 CPUs, without any modification. Now, it's not perfect, but it does fit with enough mounting pressure. So not every single cooler actually needs to have a new kit to mount for these. I haven't received any coolers that are technically compatible with LGA 1700. Yet this is our second build and it works. So yeah, don't believe everything that you read on the internet. Do some research or join our Tech Help Discord and you can ask. There's a link to that in the description as well. But don't mention me, just like ask people, they'll know. There's lots of people in there, they'll help you out. The RAM is 16 gigs of Team Group Extreme ARGB at 4000 megahertz. Yeah, DDR4 board, like I already said. I hope you're listening. The GPU is the MSI RTX 3060 Ti Gaming X Trio. All the cable extensions are BitPhoenix sleeve cable extensions. These are paracord ones. They smell like cable mod ones. I think I talked about this last time, Claire, how they smell like cable mod cables because they're probably made in the exact same factory. Yeah. They smell good. They smell like sleeves cables. That's a weird thing to know what it smells like. Smell the brand. You know what, actually, while I'm on the topic of this, just a completely random, Claire, I can tell what a motherboard is by smelling it, and I'll be able to tell what manufacturer it is. That's weird. Like just by smelling it. Isn't that weird? Maybe we should do a video one time, a blind smell test. I'd be able to smell a Phanteks cooler in a room because it literally smells like shit. Like the boxes are made from recycled cardboard. That's probably recycled toilet paper. Good coolers though, but they stink. The little GPU support bracket that we use all the time that people ask about is the one that comes with the old 20 series Extreme Aorus cards. I got a stack of them. I just got a black marker and covered up the Aorus on it. I don't know if you can buy them separately, but there's ones that are similar to these ones over on Amazon, so check out Amazon. Maybe I'll put a couple links in the description for stuff I find while I'm editing and doing all the description stuff and all that stuff. And can I just say, Claire? Yeah? We've been getting a lot of comments lately from people saying, oh, to the editor, you're doing such an amazing job and blah, blah, blah. I'm the editor. It's me. Thanks, guys. I've edited every single video on the entire channel, unless it's like shorts or stuff. But most of those I've edited, well, about half of the shorts I've edited. But yeah, every main video is me. Like I edit it. Yeah. Claire does the thumbnails and all the other stuff, but I do the clicking and the editing and the cutting and the chopping and the clipping and the fun stuff. And lastly, the fans. There are 6 Lian Li AL120 Uni fans plugged into the hub that you get with them, yeah? And all the lighting is controlled in L-Connect 2 and also MSI's Mystic Light in the new MSI Center software. But I think that's just about gonna wrap it up for all the parts and everything. I'll put a PC part pick list down below in the description so you can check that out at your own leisure and you can see what all the parts are and have a peruse. But stick around, ladies and gents, because it's time for some cinematic things. Let's get into it. Also, thanks for watching. And I'm your boy Nick with YouSeek, you pick, we seek. Wow, I really cocked up that order.
You did.
Yeah, well, anyway, cinematic things. You know how we do.